Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the M&M podcast. I'm your host, Manasi,
I'm Mehr.
and today's episode is going to be all about the toxic side of social media when it comes to cancel culture and performance activism.
Okay, so I just wanted to start off by saying, in terms of performative activism, a couple weeks ago, if you aren't that active on social media, then you would know that the North Star Boys, I believe, posted a picture of them in front of a sign that says "Stop Asian Hate," and they were kind of thirst trapping in front of that picture. And I just think that's a really good example of performative activism because these guys are trying to get clout out of a movement that's affected so many different people and is still affecting so many different people, and making a post out of that just to gain followers. And I remember Modesty actually sent me their apology video. And one of the things they said was, "What have you done for the movement?" Right? And I just think that's the funniest thing because what they did was pose in front of a picture and literally thirst trap.
Now, what would have been different is even if they had included a little bit, even if they had included a little bit more information about the movement, had a link attached, at least something that would be contributing to the movement instead of just saying, hey guys, Asian hate is bad, and leaving it at that. That isn't really doing anything to help.
Yeah, no. And then the way they were just posing too, it was kind of funny because they were just out here sitting here okay, I can't right now.
Yeah.
But they're out here posing in front of a picture of something that's genuinely a concern in society right now.
Yeah.
Right? And then, okay, what could have been better is their apology, right? They could have just admitted that they did something bad. Why'd they have to try and defend it and gaslight their entire audience into believing that we're the ones at fault and that we were bullying them for holding you accountable, which is something we don't see a lot of, by the way, because even with cancel culture, right? So many people have gotten canceled and they still have huge platforms. Like James Charles, for example, that man could be in jail. Why is he out here still making TikToks, bro? I do not understand.
Yeah, and that's the thing with cancel culture, right? It either gives too much attention to people who don't need it, or puts people in a bad light for something so small that they haven't even really done or they don't deserve the bad light for. And so that just ends up creating this really toxic environment for people who are trying to create content.
Good in the intention of cancel culture is good because it's trying to deplatform powerful people who have positions where they can influence a large amount of a large group of people, and trying to deplatform them when they're obviously spreading hate, misinformation, stuff like that, right? But then there's also the side that's it's just giving them more attention. And sometimes people are so quick to judge that people get deplatformed, and then we find out that they didn't do anything, and so they lose their livelihood because
yeah
I still do think though that cancel culture is necessary to some extent because especially with what's going on. Okay, we live in a society where there's a lot of issues, and on Instagram, those reposts where it's just
repost this on your story if you support people, if you support something, and I'm gonna see who all skips, and that's a judge of your character.
Oh my god, once that happened, right? And I didn't repost one of them, and the person messaged me and was like, "Are you Islamophobic?" And I'm like,
bro,
I'm afraid to tell you this. So guess what? I'm actually, so, okay, there are multiple reasons why a person can't repost them. Number one, safety reasons. Some people just can't repost it because their family does not agree with whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to repost it because they don't want their family to see, right? That's one thing. And then the second thing, maybe they understand how stupid it is. It's pressurizing you to repost something that is entirely performative, first of all. It's not doing anything for the movement. You don't know if that person donated huge amounts of money. You don't know if that person
Has experienced something personal.
and doesn't want to repost it because they're slightly offended by that reposting, like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
in
Mm-hmm.
general. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and then it also comes to like the people who like repost posts on their stories, and think they're automatically like #1 activists.
Yeah, and the other thing is that they'll spam and put every single thing that they see on their story to the point where no one can even focus on anything in particular just because there is so much. And that leads me to like another thing that I wanted to say. People tend to repost these kind of things just to gain those social points, right? To show that, oh look, I am in support of this. And then at that point it becomes less about the cause and more about the person who's doing it.
Exactly. It kind of is just like, yo, I'm woke. You should follow me. You should like listen to me because I'm smart. But you're just reposting things that are trending. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
half this stuff, I've seen people repost stuff, and then that post just turns out to be completely false in terms of information.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. So the really similar thing happened with the Black Lives Matter movement. Initially, like the black squares, right? Blackout Tuesday. That was supposed to be, like the hashtag was supposed to also have a lot of links to like important things or donations and things like that. But because of that misinformation, it ended up just being, hey guys, put a black square and post that if you're in support of the movement. And what that unintentionally ended up doing was it really muffled or like muted all of the important links to the thing because they just got overshadowed by plain black squares.
That's the thing, okay? With activism, I feel like it's just um people who aren't POC, who aren't a part of marginalized communities, over talking over people who have genuinely struggled, right? Because minorities don't are not getting a voice and are not getting their voice heard, and people aren't listening to them because these corporations or these like huge Instagram following companies are posting stuff like Blackout Tuesday, for example. Like with the Black Lives Matter movement, a bunch of TikTokers, they posted a video of them lip syncing to a song. And they were like, Black Lives Matter. That didn't do anything, right? And then there was like the whole thing with like people had like the Black Lives Matter profile picture, and people were like, oh, if you don't have it, you're racist. You haven't done this, you haven't done that. And then actual POC, actual people of color who have experienced discrimination because of their race, because and people who are constantly affected by the fact that they're a person of color, right? They don't get to showcase, oh, this is where you should donate. This is where this is what, like, no one's listening to our struggles, people are just using the trend to boost their own following.
Yeah, and that reminded me of Pride Month, right? Just during Pride Month, all of a sudden, every company and every person is like, oh my gosh, the LGBT company, here we go, here's our support, here's everything. But then the moment that month ends, you never hear about it again. All of that merch is like backhanded. Not backhanded, but like put away, right? And the thing is with that, what they're doing is they're just using the trend of Pride Month to get themselves more attention and more like sales rather than actually doing something.
Right? This Pride Month, especially, I've seen actually a little bit of growth in terms of social media in general, just because I've seen more people being like, okay, don't buy these shirts full of rain. Don't like, they're just rainbow washing their like shirts, right? You should buy from actual LGBTQ plus owned businesses, actual people, so that they can donate it to like people of that community who are struggling, right? And then like when it comes to like LGBTQ plus issues, after Pride Month is over, you don't hear about it. No one really talks about, there's the whole thing going around of trans children not being able to play school sports and not being allowed to participate in stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's been going on for a while. I heard about it a lot during Pride Month. I saw so many reposts. I haven't seen that many now,
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Because all of these only become relevant when they're trending, but the moment they're not, people like forget about it. And then what happens is the people who are actually being affected by these issues, they're losing all the support that they had just because it's not trending anymore and people don't want to keep doing it for the clout.
Mm.
So we went through a lot of things in this episode, but we will leave you with this one quote by Brianna Turner, a PhD candidate at a university in Australia. Activism isn't always a choice for people, but if you do have the privilege of choosing to participate, the best place to start is by educating yourself as much as you can about the issue. Listen to the people most impacted, reflect, and if it feels right to act, then have a go. This is really important because you need to be making those choices yourself. You need to be filtering what you see on social media, if it is, first of all, real information or fake, and if it's something that people are doing out of general concern, or if they are using it for clout. And then you need to make your own decisions and do whatever you can to help the movement.
We'll paste some links down in the description of places where you can, trusted sources where you can genuinely donate to people struggling due to different social issues.
Yep, and that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. And we can we confirm that we put out new episodes every other Monday? Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll be close to that.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll mostly be posting episodes every other Monday. And yeah, thank you so much for listening, and that's it. Until next time, bye for now. So, Hannah, what are your thoughts on cancel culture?
That's my thoughts right there. See, but she's jumping up. 20 minutes ago? Yeah, I know. But we just started recording. Please close the door.